What's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg, and this is another Chance Encounter.
Hey, what's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg. I'm a commercial real estate guy. I'm from the internet. We're seeing more properties like this being built in front of a house that's going to be torn down soon. I understand that there are power lines that are getting kind of close. What's up again? This is Dan Fredenberg, and that there is a commercial real estate building.
I'm joined today with Anna Jensen. Is that right? Is it Jensen? It's not Jensen. It's not saying. Did I pronounce that right?
It is Jensen.
Yes. All right. Sweet.
You
And I
got
got
it.
great news for you today, Anna. Today we are joined by my very favorite audience member. And why is my favorite audience member here today? Well, it's because this is a chance encounter where I interview commercial real estate syndicators. That means buyers, sellers, investors, people who are involved in these different deals. And you might ask, why would I do such a silly thing? Well, if you've ever heard of private off market, also known as 506B deals, you might know that the securities attorneys require that you have a documented prior substantive relationship, or else the SEC will get ants in its pants, and we don't want that. So I have everybody on. I find out what are their core competencies that they want to contribute, what exactly are they going to be doing. But before we get too excited with that, Anna, do you want to say something about yourself before we start talking about your business?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I'm Anna Jensen. I'm the founder of Serene Multifamily, which is a private real estate investing firm that also focuses on consulting and advising for firms. I've been in the multifamily space for a couple decades, really focused on third-party asset management operations for very large institutional REIT firms, develop new development, also private portfolios, a lot of repositions. I transferred into the sub-institutional space this year, really with a focus on thinking bigger, if you will, and really having a focus for my time and wealth, of course, but also to make somewhat of some noise about the importance about operations. And we're no longer in a state of the golden cash flow waterfalls with the expansion cycles coming in, and really sharing my expertise to groups that really need it on that forefront, either silently or marketably.
All right, I love it. I love it. And it brings me into the first segment of this show, the five distinct motivations. Before that, though, I gotta say, but wait, check your eight. And I don't know if you can see through the camera and into the user's device, but down there might be this hideous subscribe button, and maybe they should. Okay, it's a stupid joke, but I do it in every episode, so it's a habit now. But the five distinct motivations. I talk to all sorts of different syndicators, commercial real estate players, and all that sort of thing. And one of the things that has to come out in our conversation is what exactly is going to make this person go through with the deal. And even though we all have our own unique why, I found that they pretty neatly fit into these five different motivations. And so I go through them in every episode of Chance Encounters. The first one is preservation of purchasing power. Now, what is that? Well, some people already have a portfolio of assets, and the way that they make ends meet is not through a job, a W-2 or part-time job. It's through the proceeds of ownership. So why would somebody in that situation be making another acquisition? Well, there's a few different scenarios. One is if inflation is eating away from the purchasing power of that cash flow, it's time to make another acquisition. And then the other one is when you can buy at a steep discount, like when there is an asset crash or other signs of distress. That's what some people are up to, but that's not really where I am in my phase of my career. What I'm up to is trading time directly for wealth. And what that's all about is because I came from the tech industry, specifically the CRM industry, where it's mass marketing, sending millions of emails each month through different tech funnels and online business. But when I started in 2014 working for the real estate industry, the deal sponsor who I was working with, he was doing 10 transactions a month, buying and selling different houses. And what hit me though is because I was a high salary, high wage earner, I was paying more in tax than anybody else. So I thought, how do I pivot to be more like my boss, where I'm getting rewarded in the form of deployed capital, aka equity, rather than in salary and paying all that to tax? But that's too subtle for some people, especially youngsters. And when a lot of people come into this, they're looking really to gain control over their schedule. Maybe that means they want to fast track retirement. Maybe it means they just want to work fewer months per year or fewer weeks per month or something like that. But they really intend long term to hustle in the short term and then take it easy in the future. But that differs from the next group. They're never going to quit because they're driven by ambition, that generational wealth. They want to buy their entire hometown. And that is why they're going to be hustling into their 90s, and it makes them very valuable members of the GP teams, the different groups taking down these properties. So that's a really great one as well. But the last one is a little bit different. It's not necessarily making sure that your great grandchildren never have to work a day job. It's more that you picked a sector of society, or maybe it's animals, maybe you want to send people to space, the environment, who knows what it is. But there's a financial component to making a big difference. And so that's why some people are making these acquisitions. So Anna, of those 5 different motivations, what combination of those would you say jumped out to you and describes you best?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. They're all great, but there's three that really stand out for me. And the first one is really trading time for wealth. You nailed it really on the head right there for me. I spent a lot of time working really hard, and I'm still working hard. I'm a worker. I enjoy working, but I chose to be a single parent about 16 years ago. Also climbing the corporate ladder. I also ran a property management firm for single family homes. So sometimes I wasn't getting but 3 to 5 hours of sleep, still spinning my wheels, but then also being taxed extremely heavily on the back end. Even with the property management firm, it's not the same as buying assets and having cost appreciation and segregation, all those tax benefits that you can really be tax free, right? So thinking different on that side, but then also coming with my expertise of the operations into securing these deals and trading my time for wealth in a different way was extremely important. The second one was the fast track to retirement, kind of blends with the other one. Again, I'm a worker. I will always be working probably until I'm 90, which kind of blends into the one that followed this. However, my goal is financial freedom. And so that is a form of retirement in my eyes, being able to just really relax and love what you're doing. A lot of people ask me what I do for fun, and it's talk about real estate. It's acquiring real estate. It's teaching real estate, the right way on how we can really make a profound change, not only for ourselves, but our families.
Mhm.
And then the last one that really blends for me is making societal changes and helping. It is profoundly important for me to share institutions, nonprofit organizations that I truly believe in, not only with other investment firms that are looking for tax write-offs, that are looking for ways to also not pay as much on that back end, but to also make a difference on that forefront. So, there's 3 organizations that I really, really brag about. And one is based in Colorado Springs, which is one of my footprints. It's called The Place. It's helping our homeless youth really gain the tools that they need to take care of themselves and not be homeless anymore. The second one is One Pill Killed, which is educating our youth again on the opioid crisis. And then, of course, human trafficking, which is, $150 billion business right now that really stretched its legs over the last 3 years during the detachment of COVID, and is right under property management firms' noses. So really educating on how to be aware of those and to spot them out, to work together to stop it. The Freedom Network USA is a strong organization. So those 3 combined are my main purposes for being here.
I love that. I love that. I love how it checks a few boxes And that's what really demonstrates that goals or ideals really have staying power. So that's really fantastic. But of course, there are plenty of risks involved in any sort of investment, and commercial real estate is definitely among them for that. And if you've ever been involved in a 506B deal, the securities attorney should have told the issuer to fill out to get you to fill out this questionnaire. Lots of invasive financial questions. Basically, they're asking more information than you may know about your own parents' financial situation. But there was one question in particular that I thought it didn't really do a great job of proving what on the surface it was asking, and it was the tolerance for risk question. So I've got my own one, and this one, it's a fill in the blanks question. There are many popular investment asset classes, but I think blank is too risky. What's too risky for you, Anna? It can be inside real estate, outside real estate, anything that's too risky.
Well, for me, anything that is cycle driven is risky, and that's probably too risky for me. So I'm really going to say crypto and Bitcoin. Those are two major areas to stay away from at this point. And I'll just leave it there.
I love it. I love it. Because after all, you can't eat Bitcoin, not like a subscribed sandwich. This
Love
thing just
it.
kills me every single time. But it reminds me it's time to pull out the Dan Does Deals Commercial Core Competency Cube, which you can get your own free one from dandoesdeals.com. And like a complete dummy, I didn't even ask for your email address or any contact information at all. That's the cardinal sin of marketing, is you always ask for contact information in return for your freebie. But I want nothing to hold you back from going to dandoesdeals.com and downloading your own copy, printing it out, and then trying it out for yourself, on your friends, on your family, because if there's one thing that I think will make the difference in your future in commercial real estate, it's going to be your ability to communicate effectively on how a deal is put together and how you systemically make sure that you've got those boxes checked. And in every episode of Chance Encounters, I go through all 6 sides. It only takes 2 minutes, and it tells you how my guest fits into these deals as well. So let's get started. The repositioner is an acquisitions person, so they're looking at a whole whack of different properties, and they're doing a bunch of paperwork. What is this paperwork, you may ask? Probably not. But anyway, they're underwriting the deal. It's a fancy word, huh? It means they're doing the math. They're doing the arithmetic, figuring out, first of all, is this property even making the amount of money that the broker slash seller is claiming it is? Because but a lot of people call these guys investors and these guys investors and those guys investors. But what separates a repositioner's role, other than being an acquisitions person, is they're trying to figure out how can they make more upside for how this property is run. Now, one of the more peculiar ways that a repositioner can make this all work is by having a large network of financiers. Financiers are people who only deal with paper and money. So they are not on the GP team. They're not directly involved. They are not making any asset management decisions. But the reason why repositioners have to have such extensive lender financier relationships is because if they can secure a more advantageous loan, that goes straight to the bottom line of the deal, the profitability of the deal. So the repositioners are going to be hanging out with them and doing investor relations and whatnot. But the more typical place to look to stop those Benjamins from going down the toilet is in operations, which Anna already mentioned having some experience with, and I'm sure she can tell you that there's much more to operations than unclogging toilets and collecting rents and mowing lawns. The elements that I contribute to my GP teams, it has to do with my digital and marketing background. So different automation as far as inventory. But of course, at the end of the day, even if you are involved in bigger deals, 100 units plus, and you're outsourcing your property management, the time where you're going to need somebody like me is if there's a vacancy rate problem, you need somebody with some serious marketing chops to step in and fix that, because vacancy is what kills deals. But of course, operations, there's only so much efficiency you can add as a repositioner. So the next place they're going to look is the contractor team to do value adds on the units. What's that all about? Well, the bet is if you invest in a unit upgrade, then the next resident will be happy to pay more in rent than the previous one because it's a nicer place. Of course, there's a limit to that, and you have to be careful. You can spend endless amount of money with contractors, and it won't necessarily give you a return on investment. Like if you gold plate the toilets, so you need somebody to keep an eye on these contractors, make sure that they're keeping the schedule and they're not using subgrade materials and whatnot. And if you're like me, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm from the internet. So that means I need locals. I need boots on the ground, somebody who can be there in an hour or two, because you can bet that will not be me. I'd still be stuck at an airport in an hour or two. So I need a vast network of locals who can be there and be part of these deals. And they can keep an eye on the contractors and also on whoever's doing the operations, making sure they're not sloughing photos and things like that. But when the repositioner has found an ideal property, let's say it's 350 units, let's say it's tens of millions of dollars, they turn around to the lenders, the financiers, and say, hey, I found this property. It looks pretty awesome. You don't have, I don't know, say tens of millions of dollars you want to lend us to like do this, right? And the financier is going to have one big burning question on their mind that I haven't addressed. And you may know that a lot of gurus and mentorship programs, they really gloss over this one, but they're going to ask, who's your KP? Who's your sponsor? And what's that all about? Well, if you decide, let's say you're an engineer or an attorney or a physician, something like that, and you decide to invest in your backyard, you want to take over the local apartment complex, some commercial property, you and your circle of friends will put down your initial deposit and all that kind of stuff, your earnest money to take it over. But when you get to the bank, they're going to require that somebody in the fold already owns a similar asset, or you're just not going to be eligible for the loan. So they're going to be asking who's the sponsor, who's the KP. And on top of that, you need a certain amount of liquidity. And then among the ownership team, you need a balance sheet of at least the amount of the loan. But if you have all those pieces, you got yourself a commercial real estate deal. So Anna, I know that you already went through a couple of the roles and your fortes and skill sets in the past, but there's a lot of VAs who watch these episodes. So at the risk of repeating yourself, where do you generally fit in these deals?
Yeah, love it. Thank you. And love that cube. I'm going to have to get one to help with some of my consulting.
There you go.
Repositioner and operations really blends. In fact, I'm going to be one of those operators that say having a senior operator, a senior investor really ties into all facets of an investment. I work hard on finding those deals with my teams as well, but we have a front of the line repositioner that's looking and acquiring those deals, but as an operator and a strong operator that has the ability to forecast and really understand the market and understand where we're going with the story has to tie in with that repositioner. So that's really where I fall in, and again bringing institutional processes and systems into the sub-institutional space and really sharing that.
All right, beautiful. And that brings me to the buy box. And when commercial real estate investors, syndicators, operators, all that kind of stuff are asking, hey, what you looking for? What's your buy box? What's easier to say yes to and more difficult to say no to? We're really asking about three things. The first one's geography. Where is it? Okay, we need to know which state, which county, possibly even which neighborhood. Okay, it's absolutely going to matter. Okay, that's the geography. The second one is going to be the size. And most of my guests on this show, the section of commercial real estate that they're involved in is multifamily, which means apartment complexes. And the way you define size in an apartment complex is by unit count. And the reason why that's important is because you're going to have a completely different group of people taking over 10 unit apartment complexes compared to the ones taking over 150, 350 unit apartment complexes. So that size definitely matters. But the third thing, I'm going to call it desirability, even though most people would call it class. But I don't like that term class because it's two words that actually mean the same thing, and they're not the same at all. The first one is the condition, and the second one is the area. And when you're talking about condition, it has to do with when was the building built? What kind of shape is it in? Is it all beat up, or is it full of luxuries and amenities and just a really desirable place to live? Well, that's the condition. Now, the area, what they're asking about is What's the crime rate like where the property is located? What are the school districts like where the property is located? And then, of course, the old trope, they say location, location, location in real estate, but what they really mean is traffic, traffic, traffic. And what that means is that any place what has more traffic going by in a given day, it's going to be more desirable in bringing up the value. But both the area and the condition, those different versions of class or desirability, both of them are ranked the same way as in grade school, where you got A plus at the top, and then A, and then A minus, and then B plus, and so on. So Anna, as far as easier properties for you and your group to say yes to, what you looking for?
Yeah, thank you. And you're right. There's hundreds of thousands of submarkets within the market, right? So really choosing where you're going is paramount to having that buy box. So we are really focused in the mountain region. We are bullish in Denver and Colorado Springs, Phoenix, Arizona, Mesa, and Tempe. But we'll also look at some other mountain states and markets if the deal is right. We look for at least 100 units. 100 units is small. There's really nothing that's too big if it's a great deal. So 1980s and up, if it is a value add, hitting kind of those 1980s, 90s realms below 2,000, we look for at least 40 to 50% renovation already proven and completed to get into those. And we are also looking at new development deals. So those new development deals, I like to see permitting about to launch or permitting already approved, and really looking for those equity partners and those operators to come in and push it. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. If anybody has one, please connect with me.
I love it. I love it. And that next brings me to people. My favorite thing about commercial real estate is that because it's multifaceted, that's what the sides of the die really represent. Nobody's going to be all of the sides for any meaningful amount of time. And so because of that, we as a community tend to be really eager to give referrals, introductions and whatnot. And even though we are so friendly and eager to meet everybody around, our skill sets still mean that we're going to be able to disproportionately help some people more than others. And me, because of my digital marketing, content creation, digital background, full stack development, blah, 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 blah. The sponsors and KPs are the people who I'm generally most eager to speak to because they've already got a foundation in their business where a guy like me can make a disproportionately large difference. Of course, the repositioners I'm eager to talk to just because of the contribution of 506B me. But Anna, if you got any 506B deals going on, then don't entice investors. It's not good to mention that. But as far as the different roles, people who are in the audience, who are you most able to help?
Yes, thank you. I enjoy helping as many people as I can. And with my experience, I have the ability to help in a lot of different ways and wear different hats. So again, I'm able to consult and advise with operational groups. I can even come into a firm and really do a C-suite type of situation and work with the entire team and really do a deep dive to reset systems and processes. Again, over the last 3 years, we have a lot of excellent groups out there that had the ability to acquire at a fast scale and move money very quickly, or not quickly, but move money. And now is the time to really reset those operations, and you need that experience. So I'm here to help with that. I'm also here to help buy the deal. Like if there's a problem out there that needs solved, it's about to go to the bank, or you don't want it to hit the market, I am here to purchase those right assets. And I'm also here to connect people with the right property management firms. If you are looking for a third party firm to bring in that is able to be very creative on your business plan and work with you one-on-one, I do have those connections, and they can go anywhere within the country. So do connect with me if you're looking for that. And then the final way that I'm able to help is if you need an operational partner on a JV deal or a GP deal, I am happy to jump on those as well for the right deal. Of course, my name's behind it. All of our names are behind it, and that underwriting and that reposition is extremely important.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. And if people want to reach out, me, I'm lucky because I have this really distinct last name. So I'm easy to find, especially on LinkedIn, which is the social media channel where I spend most of my time. But if you use your phone to scan this QR code, that goes to the FAQs page of 506 VME, which is the platform where I offer the service of documenting your substantive investor relations, making sure that the IT is not your problem anymore. And the background for that is when the SEC takes a look into your exemptions, they need proof that you actually knew the people in your sector, in your investment, before you actually had a signed deal. So that's what that helps out with. But Anna, if people want to reach out to you, is there a social media channel, a website, uh, uh, email? How should people reach out?
Yes, I do have a website. It's serenemultifamily.com. That's SERENE as in calm, because if you have the right operator, real estate investing is a great calm experience. You can also connect with me on social media, Instagram, send me a private message, Facebook. I do have an asset management operational group. You can join that. I share tips and where we are as an economy on a couple times a week. So join those. And also there's about 2,000 other investors on there that also ask questions and share their experiences. So jump into that. It's called the Multifamily Asset Management Network right there on my Facebook page. You can find me at Anna Jensen. And then you can also find me on LinkedIn. I do share a lot of professional experience on there as well, and love to connect with other investors and people in the industry. So lots of different ways to connect with me, but always reach out.
All right, beautiful. And then the last thing, it's actually not for you, Anna, it's for you in the audience, is my public service announcement. And it is, if you've been watching this episode and you've been experiencing like searing pains in your eyeballs and like migraine-like symptoms, I'm confident is because of the hideous subscribe button that's down there. And you can just click that for free. It doesn't cost you anything. And I'm eager for more people to click on it, because if enough people do, then YouTube will start paying for these videos instead of me. And I think that would be amazing. But of course, the only trade-off for you, as I said, it doesn't cost anything. It just means my videos might show up on your list of suggestions, but you can go ahead and ignore those suggestions. Because frankly, I just appreciate the fact that you spent this time with me. Just like Anna, I appreciate you joining me today. This has been great getting to know you a little bit better.
You too, Dan. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey there, are you interested in commercial real estate deals? Would you like to build your network of investors and deal sponsors? Well, the best thing I can do for you is have you appear on a chance encounter interview as featured on dandoesdeals.com. You may know me from 506 BME or as a top commercial real estate voice on LinkedIn. And if I had to think of the top factors in your success in commercial real estate, my top two would be your network and your ability to effectively explain how deals work with effective communication. The 15-minute chance encounter format, it checks both of those boxes, and they ensure that you can share your private deals with me without the SEC calling it a public solicitation. So hop onto LinkedIn. You can see my name is over here, Dan Friedenberg, and search for my name. And the best way to reach me and book that is to message me through LinkedIn. And don't worry, it doesn't matter if you decided to enter this space just last week or 2 weeks ago, or if it was decades ago. It'll be fun and easy to look good. We're just asking multiple choice questions based on your core competencies you look to contribute, your level of sophistication, all that kind of stuff. So I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye. Make sure you 506B me. Any syndicators, make sure you 506B me.
Hi.
Oh, hey, yeah, here's my code. You got your QR code scanner? Okay, yeah, oh yeah, just hold it right in the square there. Okay, cool. And now you hit open in browser.
Okay.
Okay. Are you already logged into 506BME?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so there's my video. So now I'm already on your watch list. So when you get back to your hotel, you can find out what my core competencies are and my level of sophistication. Sound good?
Yeah.
I love your hat. Real estate's a scam. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
You too.
506BME, everybody.